Hi, welcome to Christine's Corner. Today we're right in the field at the Plainville Choral Society's rehearsal at the church.
Gloria Dei Lutheran Church in Bristol.
On the right I have the director and Mel Cummings. And what's your name?
Greg Wilfred.
Greg Wilford.
Mal Cummings.
Thank you for coming.
Our pleasure.
How long have you been here?
This is my third year directing the Plainville Choral Society.
Your third year?
Yep,
So the Plainville Choral Society is celebrating their 50th year.
they sure are.
So I hear, Mel, you know the history of how it started and where and why.
I sang for 47 years and then dropped out for a couple of years, but I'm back again because I found out that I missed it more than I thought I would. But yeah, this is a group that was founded as a result of the Catholic Church choirs disbanding, and they did a variety show, and everybody had so much fun. We said we can't stop singing. So Rod Pelkey, who was the music director at Plainville High School in 1970, said, "Well, let's form a choral society," and that's how it started.
That's how it started?
Yeah.
So way back in the church, which was?
Actually, our first rehearsals were at the Congregational Church here in Plainville, and we rehearsed there for many years, and then subsequently moved here to Gloria Dei. We've been here for quite some time now, and it's been really a great relationship between the church and the group, and we really enjoy singing here. And we come to the point that we have our programs here as well as our rehearsals, because the church is such a wonderful venue for singing in.
So you started with choral, just the chorus singing.
Well, yeah, we had, our first groups were around 60 to 70 people, and at one time we reached over 100 singing. And it's sort of decreased to about somewhere between 45 and 60, depending upon shows that we're doing and what we have planned.
So you've had quite a lot of plays too.
We in our second or third year, we decided we wanted to do a full-blown musical. And so we did Finian's Rainbow as our first musical. And since then, for a long time, we alternated. One year we would do a variety show, then we would do a full-blown musical, and the last few years we've done mostly variety shows. But it's been a lovely experience because we've been able to expose a lot of people's talent through these various venues.
Yeah, 50 years of talent. That's I don't know.
And we've done it without any formal municipal or governmental support. We've been self-supporting, and we felt that it would allow us to do what we wanted to do rather than somebody telling us that they didn't want us to do something. So.
That's quite a feat to put together in Broadway shows.
Well, you know, it's like Topsy. We just grew. Sometimes we didn't even know what we were doing, but we said, well, let's try it, and this is how it became what it is. And thanks to people like Greg, who have been here only 3 years. But sometimes it seems like he's been here longer because he fits into this group so seamlessly, and the group has adopted him as their director, and that means a lot, that you have this warmness between a director and a group that you can feed off of each other, and Greg does a nice job of doing that too, so we're very fortunate to have him.
Yes, you are. I'm also in the Plainville Choral Society, so that's how we got this going. So Greg, you said you've been here for 3 years now.
Yeah, so I got familiar with Plainville in college when I was at the Hart School of Music. I got involved with their chapter of MENC, which is now a different name. It's the Music Educators National Group. And so our vice president when I started was the organist at Plainville United Methodist Church. So he invited us to perform concerts there. And that was my first picture of Plainville back when I was a freshman in college, was doing these concerts at this Christmas benefit concerts at the Methodist Church here in town. So when I was looking for jobs after graduating in 2011, I saw there was an opening at an elementary school in Plainville at Toffelon Elementary.
Oh, yes.
And so I started teaching there in 2011. And the Choral Society had an opening a couple of years back, so I applied for that, and fortunately I was able to land that job. So it's been fun to get more involved in this town, because it's fun for me to go travel other places and tell them about Plainville, Connecticut, because it is not the biggest town. But there are so many wonderful things happening here, not the least of which is this year the Choral Society doing their 50th anniversary year. And it's been super fun. This is only my third year, as we mentioned, but the people who have been here are so welcoming and so excited at the group, and so willing to invest so much time into making it be so successful. And that's what makes it super fun to do.
Yeah, you're doing an excellent job.
Well, thank you.
Yes, you are. It's fun to rehearse every Monday, right?
Yeah, well, Monday nights, yes. Mondays are my long day. So I get to school, we have an after-school townwide jazz band that rehearses, I go grab a bite, I come here. But if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't make a 13, 14-hour day out of it.
Yeah.
So fortunately, it's totally worth the time.
What other events are coming up through the year?
Our first event this year is our Christmas program. That'll be happening the second weekend in December here at Gloria Dei Lutheran Church, which is, as Mal mentioned, is a wonderful venue to perform in. And we have a number of great events happening this year. A past, present, and future concert event that'll be featuring some of the former members of the group or long-standing members of the group, a lot of our present members, and then also some members of what used to be the Plainville Choral Society Youth Theater program that was run by Peter Peluso for a number of years, are going to be rejoining us. That'll be a cool kind of event for everybody to get involved in. You can literally see the 50 years kind of progress through in one performance. And in the spring, we're going to be having a big performance. We always have a big spring performance. So at the end of May, it's a golden oldies program, music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the music that you would have seen performed when this group started 50 years ago, but being re-performed in some cases, because a lot of folks had fun looking back and saying, oh man, we did this piece so many years ago and I want to bring it back.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we have a lot of new members this year, which is really amazing, that we've had so many new folks come in at such an important time. So now they're looking back and saying, what are some great songs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s that they can now, old songs they're bringing to the group.
Right.
So we have our whole concert series planned, and all of that information is on our website, which is pcsmusic.net. Because I don't have the dates memorized. And they're on the back of this amazing shirt, but I cannot see the back of my shirt from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, we noticed there's not more tenors and altos.
Yeah, it's the burden of every choir director is to always have enough tenors and basses. Unfortunately, among all the sections, we've had a lot of new folks this year. Our biggest recruitment tool, I think, is word of mouth. I think it's our members going around telling people how much fun they have in our group, what fun it is to get together on Monday nights and sing. We've heard every avenue of people finding out about us, seeing us in a concert, finding a newspaper ad, hearing about it online, coming to a concert. Our president, Debbie, goes up to people in her bowling league and says, do you like to sing? Here, come find this group on Monday nights. And we've gotten a handful of people that way too. So fortunately, our members, like I mentioned earlier, our members are so dedicated to this group that they're willing to tell anyone and everyone about it, which only makes the community bigger and makes it that much more fun to come sing together.
So our next concert, our first concert for this year is in December.
Yep, the
13th and 14th.
Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th. If it snows, then we'll have a snow date on Sunday the 15th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But yes, all those performances are here at Gloria Dei Lutheran Church. The theme for this Christmas is traditional, familiar Christmas tunes. Which means something different to all sorts of different people. Even the Christmas music I grew up with, I think, is different than what a lot of people did. But we tried to choose music that we thought people would most people be familiar with, and Christmas music that would make people reflect back and think back to all of their favorite Christmases from when they were young. Because Christmas is such a unique holiday in that there's a whole genre of music just dedicated to that. In our choral library that we have in our dear Ruth's basement, there's everything and then there's all the Christmas stuff. It's not quite half and half, but it's very close. So there's so much to draw from, which also means there's so much that we can do that everybody can relate to. So rather than pick a Christmas program where I want to show new Christmas stuff, this is one where we're hearing familiar songs, but the arrangements we've chosen are somewhat new takes on some of them. Like when our audience hears us perform Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, for example, our arrangement that we have found is very familiar. It is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but there's these little twists and turns that all of a sudden everyone goes, wait a minute, that's not how I remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer sounding. But that's what we kind of want to go for. Because you can, if you like your favorite Christmas music, you can listen to recordings of it any time. But if you want to come hear people perform it live, we got to give them something a little original, a little unique. So that's what I was going for when I was choosing the repertoire for this program. And we're very excited to perform it for people.
You can always come to both shows, you know, because live theater or live performances, no two shows are exactly alike.
That is true.
So you might miss something if you only come one night. You know, another beautiful outgrowth of the Choral Society, as Greg mentioned, the youth theater that Peter Bluso directed for many, many years, has brought a lot of members in as they grew up and became young adults. And also, a little over 20 years ago, we founded a group called the PCS Players, which primarily does light comedy.
So Mel and Greg, do you think that we bring back, that was my question was, do you think we'll bring back the PCS Players?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Eileen and I have been talking about it. We want to revive it. It's been a little stagnant the last few years, but we want to bring back one of our favorite live comedies called The Odd Couple, but we want to do the female version of it. And we think that would play well here in town. Neil Simon is a well-known name. But before we wrap it up, I'd like to mention also that we have awarded over $25,000 worth of musical scholarships over our 50 years. And if you're a matriculating student in a Connecticut college, or you're a Connecticut resident, apply for it. There's two $500 scholarships. So if you don't apply, you won't get it. But
Thank you both, and thank you for coming, and we'll see you again next week.
Merry Christmas! Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Good tidings. Faithful friends who are dear.